It's my honor and privilege to introduce the 2023-24 CFMA Chair, Mr. Kevin Foley.
Thank you, Phil. Okay, well, I hope everybody is really enjoying the conference and the energy level set at our first general session of the day, and at least the dessert being in the exhibitor center later on doesn't put you into a sugar coma yet. So, but I wanted to ask you, do you ever think about what you might do to get something better in life? Do you plan? Do you adapt to change? Let me give you an example. I won't guarantee it's a good example, but here it goes. How many of you would go trick-or-treating for Halloween? How many of you still do? Okay, when I did, I'd be talking with my friends about how to optimize our night of empty calorie acquisition. Decide what houses to start at and go from there. So a lot of the night might be going around getting stuff like this. And if you can't see it, this is a Snickers bar, fun size. I don't know who labeled these, but to me, this is fun size. Right? So when other friends came and told our group that night that some house was giving out full-size bars, we adjusted our plans to make sure we got to that house. We took advantage of the opportunity to get something better. And I hope you agree that this is better than this. Okay, maybe that's a lame example, but I think it's a decent metaphor for how we use our networks to learn, adapt, raise our game. So you find yourself here in Colorado with the beauty and majesty of the Rocky Mountains out in the distance, and plenty of outdoor activities to enjoy. And yet you are here in a big room at a huge hotel, listening to speakers, networking with other professionals, and looking at technology and services to help you and your companies. Why? I think you are looking for growth opportunities, personal and professional. And I'm here to say that here at the CFMA annual conference, you have, wait for it, mountains of opportunities to improve, to grow, to change. A couple of years ago, you were invited to pursue your curiosity. That's an opportunity CFMA provides to you. Learning, discovering, listening, all part of our continuing education to be better. Let me ask you to raise your hands if you have small children in your life. Okay. As a grandfather, I have two grandsons, aged 2 and 5. Last year, when I was watching my 5-year-old grandson, I took him out for pizza. No, I'm not going to talk about food all the time, despite my obvious expertise. When we came out of the restaurant, he looked up and asked me, "Pop, why is there a clock there?" Small children are curious about things we take for granted. So it gave me an opportunity, though, to think of reasons to provide him with an explanation of what it might possibly be that led them to put a clock there. I prefer not to just tell a child, "I don't know." So I thought, and I gave him a couple of explanations on what I thought were possibly the reasons. I was forced to think as well as see something from a curious mind. Having to take a few moments to think about the why of something we hadn't considered before is a skill we all need. So many times you can ask someone at a company why they produce a certain report, and the answer is, "Oh, we've always produced that report." We should look for opportunities to look at what we do and why we do it. So when you engage with CFMA, you open up those mountains of opportunities to question things, to be open to learning and to change. Our association values the improvement of our entire industry, especially our members. I know that this room is filled with people at many varieties of engagement in CFMA. For many of you, there are a wide variety of reasons for you to be here. Whatever those reasons are, I'm going to guess, and it's only a guess, that boils down to self-improvement, which is a great reason to do anything. I believe that even selfless things like helping others can be beneficial to us. My participation in CFMA has been a tremendous benefit in my life, in virtually all areas of my life. And my experience, while different than others, have a lot of similarities for some of our members. So early in my career in construction, I thought I should attend a class called The Basics of Construction Accounting. Anybody ever hear of that? Okay. So I attended the session, and I ended up responding to a lot of questions from the presenter. I know you may be shocked about that. The presenter caught me heading out and asked me if I wanted to grab a quick drink to chat. He made a comment to me that I could have been a presenter instead of taking the class. I was flattered, but I also knew that other than CPE, there weren't a huge number of things in that session that added to my knowledge at that point in my career. However, the top thing I got out of that session was to meet the presenter. Maybe you've heard of Tony Stagliano? Anybody? Okay, amazing person, the absolute best. Little did I know that I would be presenting that same course with him a number of times over the years, or that CFMA would enable me to be directly mentored by Tony. I've had a lot of good fortune, but so much of it is due to taking the opportunities to be involved with CFMA and trying to be a better me. So what about you? Are you utilizing CFMA to hone your skills and add to your knowledge by using the education presented by your chapters or more broadly on webinars? And even better, developing relationships that help you in all areas of work and life. The opportunities are there. Yes, I've been fortunate enough to have had a great mentor and friend in Tony, but he is one of dozens of people in CFMA with whom I have important relationships and friendships. I have not always been the best at recognizing opportunities in front of me, but the smartest thing I ever did was to take the opportunity and recognize and convince my wife Liz to marry me a number of years ago. I could not have done any better than to share my life with her. And if there is something good about me, the odds are it is because of her impact on me. And for me, her encouragement in all parts of my career has been a true blessing to me. I am fortunate to have her here and our daughter and son-in-law, and I cannot thank you enough. Liz has been a big part of this CFMA ride with me as we have developed many relationships together with many CFMA friends. And again, I cannot thank you enough for all you've done for me over these years. So let me take a moment and looking around this room and mention that there are people here in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who have the relationships they have in CFMA as valuable in their lives. But very importantly, they are still learning and making themselves better. It is possible to reach your goals and aspirations. It does require effort. You will need to plan. You may need to go through more education, For a better job, you may need to expand your network. You might need to connect to new technologies. But if the opportunity to achieve a dream arises, I encourage you to go for it. Now, a couple of years ago, as I mentioned earlier, you were invited to pursue your curiosity. And last year, you were encouraged to come together in Atlanta and use the opportunity to connect with the networks available in CFMA. And Tom wasn't just suggesting that coming together in Atlanta was what it was all about. He was inviting you to come together with other members in every sense within CFMA. Our focus on the next generation of members and diversity, equity, and inclusion show our values of bringing all of us together. The opportunities abound. You just need to pursue them. I'll leave you with a personal example of going after something. When I was growing up, I went to school where we would go home to have lunch and then go back in the afternoon. So I would go home and have a sandwich and watch a show I enjoyed called Jeopardy. Ever hear of it? Okay. All right. Well, I might have known only one or two answers per show, but that was great to me. So I would dream I could be on the show someday. As an adult, it became an evening show, and I would watch it whenever I could when it aired. And in the 1990s, when they announced tryouts at a casino in Atlantic City, thanks to my wife's encouragement, I took a day off, drive down and take the 10-question test. And after passing that, I would have to go back down and take a 50-question test with hundreds of others. It was like a standardized test. Most of the room was eliminated, and those of us who were left were brought up to play a mock game of several questions. They sent us home and said they might call us. A few weeks later, to my surprise, I got the call to come out to California for the show. I had my opportunity. Now, to let you know, they did not pay transportation cost. They did not pay hotel costs. You take that risk on for yourself. But I pursued the dream. I made it onto the show, and I got to play Jeopardy on national TV. And for the question of what chair of CFMA is a Jeopardy champion, the answer is Kevin Foley. Finding and pursuing opportunities can be very rewarding. Now, I'm guessing that some of you are newcomers at this conference. I've seen quite a few already. Maybe you haven't been engaged in CFMA that long. So please raise your hands, those of you who are at your first national conference. That's a big part of our room. Additionally, hands for anybody who's been a CFMA member for 5 years or less. Again, quite a good group. Thank you for being here. I'm putting a challenge out to all of you. On the CFMA website, we have the Connection Cafe for members. And for those of you who aren't members, surprise, your conference registration got you membership for the rest of this CFMA year until March 31st. So I've asked that you, since you can access the Connection Cafe, I've asked to have a section created for conference attendees. It's called the Mountains of Opportunities. We're so creative here. Those of you who are first-time attendees or under 5-year members, and maybe both, I'd ask you to go to this cafe section and join the Mountain of Opportunities community. When there, please share with us some opportunity you can take advantage of in this upcoming year. Maybe it's an educational opportunity. Maybe it's networking. Perhaps a professional development program, like in a certificate program we have, or getting your CCIFP. or maybe joining a local committee. The mountains of opportunities available in CFMA are well worth investigating. And for our more experienced members, I would ask that you go into this room at the cafe and help support our less experienced folks. Provide your thoughts and insights. Taking the opportunity to support and encourage our members is part of CFMA values and also enables you to better yourself, to think of things that you are still wanting to get out of your CFMA membership. So, getting back to a Halloween analogy, what houses will you stop at? The ones that everyone goes to and take what they give you? Or maybe go to the one with the bigger payout, like CFMA. For your career, I will tell you that the CFMA house is the one you should stop at first. Have a full-size bar of education. Have a full-size bar of networking. Get your CCIFP. Ooh. Take advantage of all that CFMA has to offer. Please enjoy your opportunities right here at this conference. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Way to go. That was terrific.
Thanks.
That was terrific.